Hey everybody, Doug Fields here with 5 Minute Youth Ministry, and I'm with another DF, Doug Franklin here at LeaderTrex. We're in the world headquarters. I want to say
International World Headquarters.
international. It's in not in Wheaton. Where are we?
Well, we're on the edge of Wheaton, Carroll Stream.
Okay, there
Right
you
next
go.
door.
Carroll Stream, the home of Tyndale and Leadership Journal, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Doug is his whole pedigree is in for 20 years been doing student leadership camps, retreats, but not just that. You are all about helping youth workers cast vision for what it means to develop leaders. So in this, I don't want to do the talking. I want you to do the talking. Why do you think this is important? Because let me just frame it this way. There's a lot of people out there saying, don't push kids, they're already stressed enough.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. But the church is one generation away from being out of leaders. And if there's one thing that the church needs more than anything else, it needs leaders. And we also see that there's apathy among our students because all they're doing is getting entertainment thrown at them, and they never get involved. They never get connected. So student leadership does a lot for the church. One is it's developing leaders now that can have impact today and tomorrow, which is huge. But also, two, is I've noticed that when a student owns something, when a student really leads something, when a student is involved, it kills apathy. It changes the apathy, and it says, you know what? I got skin in the game. I'm in this thing. I can make this happen. This is on me. And it changes. It changes the way other students respond to them as well, too.
Yeah.
You know, when the youth worker says, hey, we're going to go and do this event or this activity, okay, you know, I kind of know what that is. But when a student stands up and says, we got a plan, we're gonna go out to a truck stop where we know there's been sex trafficking going on, and we're gonna protest there, we're gonna put up some signs, and we're gonna go around and we're gonna feed some of the people that are there that are part of what's going on, then everything changes.
Yeah.
Because now I'm not just part of what, you know, Youth Pastor Bob is doing, I'm part of what my friend Sam is leading.
Yeah.
And that changes everything as well, too.
Well, the power of the peer, for years I would go, you know, I would struggle to have kids listen to me when I would teach them every week.
Yeah.
But then when I get a teenager, just to share a 5-minute testimony, the room is silent. And the teenager's a bad speaker.
Yeah, terrible usually.
But because of the power of the peer. Now, most youth workers, Doug, go, hey, I've got Sunday morning to pull off, I've got Wednesday night to pull off, I've got all this stuff to pull off. I love the idea of student leadership, but it just seems like an extra thing. How do I change that mentality?
And I think that's the way a lot of youth pastors look at student leadership. They look at the big pie of all the things that they have to do and they compartmentalize it. Well, I still think evangelism, outreach, discipleship, service, those are all key parts of youth ministry. They're just better when students lead them. You know, the thing about it is that you can do all those things and keep doing all those things, but the question is where are students going to have ownership in those things? You know, you can try to do evangelism and outreach, but you're not going to be as powerful as that student is going to be on their campus. You can try to be doing discipleship and you can call students to come to, you know, a small group time at your church, but the truth of the matter is the students that have conversations with one another at Starbucks are so much more powerful than they're ever going to be in your small groups. So the truth of the matter is all of those things are important. They're just better when they're student-led or when there's some student involvement in it that goes beyond participation.
So how do I start? What do I do? If I'm a youth worker out there and I've got a youth group of kids, but I haven't identified any student leaders, what should I do?
Okay, I think the first thing you do is you ask yourself who's getting it, who's connected, who's really you know, having some impact themselves. And I think you ask them, hey, you want to join me? There's some things I want to see us do as a youth ministry, and I'd love for you to join me. I think it's also important that students, that youth workers whisper in students' ears, I think you're a leader. Mm-hmm. I see leadership in you. In fact, when you ask anybody, when was the moment you knew you were a leader? It was when somebody else told them. So I would start with that. But then I would also look for some great resources out there. I think the first thing we got to help students understand is how God has wired and made them. Because the number one mistake I think that most student leadership programs make is they try to get students to mimic somebody. Like, I'm going to mimic this person, this leader that I like, or I'm going to try to mimic the senior pastor or some coach at school. The truth is God has wired and made them in a unique and special way, and they need to connect with that.
And what is the resource you guys have for that? We've got 30 seconds.
Student Leaders Start Here. It's a great book. It's got 6 different assessments in it. It's got some great Bible study in it. It's a book that a youth worker can go with a student, like just one-on-one, or a student can go through it. It's a really great resource. There we go.
Look at that product placement.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the deal. We are like-minded in that we believe that kids are not the future of the church. They are the church today. We've got to help them understand what it means to lead in the church, not just sit and take up space. We believe that teenagers can and should be leading in the church, but it's our job as leaders to get them. And you use the word, invite them. Everybody wants to be invited to something. And so the reality is people that are in ministry, they were either asked or they felt called. And there's some kids in your ministry that feel called. They're just waiting for you to ask. And the team at LeaderTrex, and I'm here, it's an amazing team. LeaderTrex.org has all the resources you need to take it to the next level.
Yeah, appreciate that very
Thanks,
much.
Doug.
Yeah.